After rewinding time, the first thing I do is quietly install cameras all over my company. Sure, everyone's looking at me with serious suspicion, but these hidden cameras, they're my absolute lifeline. Only I know they'll save my neck in the near future. Because, you see, in my past life, one of my employees took a fatal fall, and I was locked away because her final video falsely accused me of a horrible crime. My own secretary testified that I constantly called staff into my private office. Even my wife claimed I stepped out on her countless times. But I kept my hands clean. Zero inappropriate behavior, at least, until the forensics team released a report that completely sealed my grim fate. It showed she had been heavily drugged and violated, and somehow, they even found my DNA on her. Suddenly, every single piece of evidence pointed straight at me. I was labeled a sick monster who preyed on his employees. The internet tore my parents apart, pushing them so hard they reached a tragic end. As for me, I suffered pure hell behind bars. But maybe the heavens actually took pity, granting me one miraculous chance to redo everything. When I finally opened my eyes, I'm back on the exact day she took that fatal fall. Boss, here's your coffee. DGV smiles, placing the cup right on my desk. He's always so incredibly humble and thoughtful with everything he does. But seeing that respectful smile on his face right now, it's sickening. I can't help but shiver. My company signs major internet influencers, racking up massive profits by riding the big waves of online traffic. Since we're a startup in a heavy growth phase, the workload is absolutely insane. That's exactly why my wife suggested I hire a secretary. DGV is actually my wife's old classmate. He used to be their class president, super capable guy. He's been working alongside me for 3 whole years now. 3 solid years of hard work, running the company perfectly, not one single suspicious move. Whenever he travels for business and needs to expense things, he never tries to cheat the system like everyone else does. Because of that, I always genuinely thought of him as a highly intelligent, capable, and honest guy, right up until my past life. That's when he publicly threw me under the bus, loudly accusing me of attacking our female employees. He branded me a ruthless, twisted boss. I honestly never expected someone who always seemed so gentle and righteous to be hiding such a dark double life. Boss, is something wrong? Is the coffee not to your taste? Seeing me completely frozen there, DGV asks with this look of pure, genuine concern. I can't let him realize something's off. I force myself to stay completely calm, taking a slow sip of coffee while pretending to check on our daily operations. I head straight to the broadcasting area. I carefully watch the girl currently live on screen. US Chu, though her real name is US. Right now, she's sitting right in front of the camera, showing off her dance moves for her massive online audience. The second I look at her, all that agonizing trauma from my past life comes rushing back. Not again. This time around, I absolutely have to uncover the real truth. Watch closely, this is my first move. After finishing my coffee, I stop DGV as he packs his business trip files. Hey, TUDG. I can handle this trip myself. The office is too empty, and I don't feel safe leaving it. You stay here and keep things running perfectly smoothly. Call me immediately if anything pops up. Also, message US and tell her to wait in the meeting room. I need to ask her something. He looks a bit surprised, then smiles. Understood, boss turn. He turns right around and heads straight into the broadcast room. Nothing seems unusual about his actions at all. But honestly, that just makes me even more suspicious. I just can't figure out why. In a few hours, he flips his entire personality and frames me as some twisted abuser. When US finally enters the meeting room, I study her very carefully. US has this incredibly sweet, slightly tomboyish look. Since she just finished streaming, her outfit is still pretty revealing right now. She's wearing a tiny tank top and a short skirt. I closely examine every visible inch of her skin, and there isn't a single sign of any injury. Men and women have boundaries. Plus, I'm just her boss. It's wildly inappropriate for me to check for any hidden bruises underneath her clothes. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? From the outside, there's zero sign she's been attacked. Does US only get assaulted after I leave? Feeling totally uncomfortable under my intense stare, US nervously tugs at her clothes. She looks at me with pure confusion. Boss, did you call me in for a reason? Gripping my teacup tightly, I look her dead in the eye. Has anyone here been bullying you? She looks completely shocked for a second, then smiles warmly. No one at all. I get along perfectly fine with all my colleagues here. I keep pushing for clues. Are you currently dating anyone? If this isn't about some deep grudge, a toxic romance is the next most likely trigger. Absolutely not. she denies it instantly. I'm blowing up right now. My career is peaking. I don't have the time or mental space for a relationship. Her answer is incredibly firm and natural. Zero signs of lying on her face. I pause for a beat, then ask, so how do you feel I treat you? Have I ever made you feel uncomfortable? She gives me the weirdest look, then just sighs heavily. Boss, what is going on with you today? You treat me so incredibly well, how could I possibly hate you? Honestly, without you, I'd never have become a millionaire online sensation in just 6 months. And she's completely right about that. The US was already somewhat well known before she ever signed her official contract with my agency. But because she lacked the right direction, she never stood out. That is, until she joined us, and I mapped out a totally customized career path for her. In just 3 short months, she blew up across the entire internet. Oh, it's nothing, I replied. I just want you to hit the hospital. You need a full health checkup. Since you're the most valuable person in this entire company, I need to make absolutely sure you stay perfectly healthy. I figure, if I can't check her myself, the hospital can handle it. Got it, boss, she nods. I'll go right after my next broadcast finishes up. Once she finally leaves the office, I immediately call up my best buddy. This entire company is actually a joint venture between me and my absolute closest friend. I handle the external projects, while he takes care of every single thing inside the company. So naturally, he understands the situation best. About our company's current situation, I ask him if Shen Yuchu has shown any signs of getting bullied or maybe dating someone lately. My friend Zhu Hao just replies, no way. Yuchu is incredibly hardworking, shooting videos and streaming live every single day without fail. How could she possibly have time for dating? I just make up a quick excuse. Right now, Shen Yuchu is the company's absolute biggest moneymaker. I definitely have to make sure she doesn't run into any kind of trouble. Just relax, your best days are still ahead of you. Zhu Hao comforts me. I just smile bitterly. If I can't resolve this issue today, my good days are completely over for good. After finally hanging up the phone, I just feel even more incredibly confused about all of this. Shen Yuchu is easily the most hardworking person in our company, literally just running between the office and her home every day. If it isn't someone inside the company, then it definitely has to be someone from the outside. But Shen Yuchu's reaction really didn't look like she was being forced. The one thing I just can't understand is why, in my previous life, Shen Yuchu suddenly accused me of assaulting her in that video. Was she secretly being blackmailed or forced by someone else entirely? Could it actually be Yang Wei? But why on earth would Yang Wei falsely accuse me? In my previous life, my relationship with Yang Wei was genuinely great. Even though he was my subordinate, I always treated him exactly like a close friend. What is all of this really about? I hold my head in absolute agony, totally unable to understand why. In just a few hours, this grateful employee would falsely accuse me of terrible things, and then suddenly end everything, while the people closest to me, like my subordinate and my own wife, both helped confirm my fake crimes. The countdown until Shen Yuchu tragically ends things is getting dangerously closer, and yet, even up until now, I still haven't found a single solid clue. Just thinking about Shen Yuchu being terribly harassed and ending things in a few short hours, all of my incredibly hard efforts are about to completely go down the drain. Even my parents wouldn't find peace in their final days. My heart feels like it's being sliced open. In my previous life, absolutely everything happened way too fast. No warning. By the time I actually tried to fight back, I was already locked away inside a prison. Being reborn like this, I absolutely cannot let that awful tragedy repeat itself. My scheduled business trip is coming up quickly, so to keep Yang Wei from getting suspicious, I decide to just pack up and head straight to the high-speed rail station. Sitting right there on the train, I keep overthinking absolutely everything. It's all just too bizarre. I genuinely can't stop thinking, desperately trying to uncover the missing truth hidden inside this totally illogical chain of events. Once the fast train finally comes to a complete stop, I stand right there on the platform smoking, carefully playing back every single suspicious detail in my head. There has to be something I completely missed. After finishing up my very last cigarette, I touch the smoking ash bin and completely by accident, I open a phone recharge message, and right when I look at those undeleted messages from last week, I totally freeze. Now watch this. Something suddenly clicks, and a genuinely terrifying theory starts forming deep inside my head. If I can just verify this one thing, everything will finally become clear. Right now, I'm stuck on this high-speed train, and I really cannot afford to get distracted. I desperately need someone to help handle this mess. But just as I'm about to call Zhou Hao, quickly decide against doing that entirely. Instead, I finally call up a brand new employee at our company, Zhao Gao, asking him to quietly investigate something for me. But I remind him to remember, he absolutely must act in total secret. Zhao Gao seems pretty surprised, but Manager Chen, shouldn't a job like this actually be assigned to someone like Zhao? Gee, I secretly think to myself, this kid is seriously naive, unable to read people at all. But right now, I honestly just don't dare trust any single person around me, so I just tell him, do this right, and I'll give you a raise. Hearing that, Zhao Gao quickly agrees. Sitting there in the train, I wait with crazy anxiety. After an hour, Zhao Gao finally calls me back. Listening to him nervously report the actual results of his investigation, I start trembling uncontrollably, my hand shaking around my cigarette. Sure enough, my dark guess was totally right. I try my best to somehow suppress the burning wave of anger inside me, telling him to do one more thing for me. Pull this off, and you get a massive reward. Remember to keep it a secret. Don't let anyone else know about this. After handing all that off to Zhao Gao, I finally arrive at my destination. I quickly try to adjust my terrible mood, pretending like absolutely nothing is wrong, so I can go negotiate this contract. Once the deal is finally done, I open my phone and immediately see that just like in my previous life, I'm getting completely destroyed online. Game over. Shen Yuchu, a rising female streamer, has tragically passed away. A lot of people immediately recognized that it was actually her. Because my company is right in the city center, a massive crowd has already gathered outside, quickly dragging along a whole swarm of ruthless reporters wanting to grab the biggest headlines. Some even set up cameras and started live streaming the whole mess. I quietly log into the live stream, and I swear, my stomach drops. Shen Yuchu is lying there completely motionless. Police are securing the scene, while Yang Wei just stands right next to her, crying in absolute agony. He yells out Shen Yuchu was such a good girl, working so incredibly hard. We all loved her so much, but one day, she actually told me the boss kept crossing the line and saying totally unreasonable things to her. I honestly thought she was just being paranoid, never expecting that boss Chen Feng would really do such horribly cruel things. Yang Wei says this while holding up his phone, showing the angry viewers a disturbing video that clearly shows terrible bruises all over Shen Yuchu. Looking at the camera with completely empty eyes, she whispers, every single second at that company feels like absolute hell. Boss Chen Feng constantly calls me into his private office using work as a fake excuse, just to terribly harass me. I wanted to call the police, but he ruthlessly threatened to leak my private photos online and refused to pay my salary for an entire year. I really just cannot bear this awful pain anymore. I am so incredibly sorry to my family and all my fans. I just want to leave you guys forever. The tragic video shows Shen Yuchu with pale faces and red eyes everywhere. Tears stream down their cheeks, breaking everyone's heart. Then, the MUS's parents finally arrive at the tragic scene. They embrace their daughter's cold form, crying out in absolute agony. Oh, my sweet girl, why did you suffer like this? We ruined you. If you hadn't worked to feed us, that monster wouldn't have ruined you. My wife, Lu Nhyn, is right there at the scene too. She covers her mouth, weeping loudly. I was so incredibly blind, she cries. I believed his sweet lies, ruining myself and this poor girl. During our very first year of marriage, he cheated on me. When I found out, he showed zero remorse. Instead, he just constantly abused me. I wanted a divorce, but he threatened to take custody of our child. I endured over 10 agonizing years for my daughter's sake. If I knew he was this sick, I would have left him anyway. Seeing these four grieving people makes the surrounding crowd absolutely furious. That boss is incredibly cruel. They yell, not even sparing a young girl. When will we get real justice? It is just so heartbreaking. Such a good girl, crossing paths with a total scumbag boss. Instantly, I become public enemy number one, taking all the harsh blame. Everyone wants me completely gone. But check this out. On my way back, Mom calls. I pick up, and her voice sounds incredibly anxious. Son, did you see the online news? What is happening? My dad chimes in, completely furious. We know exactly who you are deep down. Why would they invent such lies? What did you do to her? Hearing my parents sound so panicked, my heart just completely shatters. Tears fall down my face. In my past life, after this news broke, everyone totally avoided me, completely terrified of getting dragged into it. Only my parents believed me. They searched everywhere to clear my name, but nobody listened. The public just assumed they were covering for me. Ultimately, they chose a tragic end just to prove my innocence. I choked back my heavy grief and rage, begging them not to get involved. Just stay home, lock the doors, and do not go outside. I will handle this myself. In my past life, dealing with all that betrayal and constant public insults, I totally lost my mind. I couldn't fight back when my wife and secretary framed me, while the internet just kept tearing me apart. But right now, I just sit back and stare at these vicious online comments with a perfectly calm mind. I turn off my phone, step out, and head straight to the company. The tragic scene is heavily barricaded, but even from a distance, I hear the crowd's pure hatred. They want me gone. I let out a cold, bitter laugh. This time, we'll make everyone pay. After a hard push, I finally squeeze into the angry crowd. The second Lu Nhyn spots me, she screams, "Turn Fong, you absolute monster. You pushed her over the edge." I coldly reply, "Why am I never home, you ask? Is it to easily prey on her?" The moment those words drop, the crowd goes absolutely insane. They start hurling objects right at me, screaming out in pure rage, demanding my total downfall. I whip out an umbrella for defense, staring right at Lu Nhyn. I just think, I was so stupid to marry such an evil woman. I bust my back working outside, handing my entire paycheck straight to her. Meanwhile, she sits home doing absolutely nothing, just blaming me. Suddenly, Lu Nhyn starts crying even louder. "Turn Fong," she wails out. "That was a living human being. How could you be so incredibly cruel?" Her career was finally seeing a little bit of light. She should have had a beautifully bright future, but now, you have destroyed absolutely everything. Her theatrical words easily rile up the people standing around. They all join in condemning me. I just smile in contempt. The exact same tricks from my past life are unfolding once again. But pay close attention here. This time, I came totally prepared. Done talking, I reach right into my briefcase and pull out the paternity test I just received. I shove the document toward the reporters, letting their cameras capture every single detail. The official results prove that my so-called daughter has absolutely zero biological connection to me. She isn't my real kid at all. Instantly, the entire live stream chat and the chaotic scene totally erupts. I glare at the two of them with an ice-cold stare. "You two act like old college buddies, but you are actually a real couple. You've been secretly hooking up for ages, right?" DGV visibly panics for a few seconds, then stammers out, "What garbage are you spouting? That report is obviously fake. I work every single day. When would I have time to meet her?" I just smirk. "Actually, precisely because you two have zero time outside, you did all your dirty deeds right inside my office." Dropping that bomb, I broadcast a security video. In it, Lu Nhyn and DGV are heavily making out before stripping down, caught on crystal clear security cameras. Seeing the exposed footage, DGV's face turns completely ghost white. In my past life, I never suspected this, but now realize the obvious red flags were always there. Lu Nhyn and I have been married for 10 whole years, yet she never let me touch her. She always claimed she was scared of pain. I just assumed she was naturally frigid, but because I truly loved her, respected her boundaries. Still, every normal guy has his own basic physical needs, right? And yet, I never once stepped out to find someone else. I stayed completely loyal. Little did I know, Lu Nhyn absolutely despised me. I wasn't just cheated on, I raised another man's kid for 10 whole years. The real reason she highly recommended DGV as my secretary, just to make their secret hookups way easier. No wonder Lu Nhyn constantly brought homemade cakes to the company, allegedly treating my staff, but actually just dating DGV. Today's business trip, a totally perfect. They decided to mess around right inside my private office, completely oblivious to the fact that I had installed hidden gear before leaving. Secret cameras were running before my business trip. Seeing the footage on my phone made me shake with rage, immediately raising doubts about my daughter. She looked nothing like me, so I had little cow arrange a secret DNA test for us. And just as I had suspected all along, my daughter was not my biological child at all. Once the video of DGV and Lu Nhyn played, the entire crowd around us gasped. Everyone stared at them with pure disgust, whispering how vile those cheaters were. What kind of terrible wife betrays her husband like this? Betraying him was not enough. Now, the child is not even his. Lu Nhyn panicked at first, but suddenly remembered something and regained her confidence. So what if I stepped out on you? She scoffed. You were always buried in work, never making any time for me or my needs. Everyone has needs, so I just found someone to blow off steam. Whatever you say now does not matter. We are talking about your assault charges. Her words gave DGV the perfect opening to jump right in. That is right. Infidelity is just a moral mistake, but taking someone out is criminal. Taking a life is a serious legal crime. Listening to their ridiculous excuses, anger boiled deep within me as DGV pointed his finger at me. He shouted, I get it now. The reason you targeted them US was because Lou NHYN wanted nothing to do with you anymore. You could not take it, so you lost control. His wild spin sounded so convincing that every eye in the room turned right back onto me. The crowd was like grass swaying in the wind, immediately jumping on the bandwagon and throwing harsh insults my way for not showing any remorse. You disgusting trash. A monster like you should be locked away forever to teach you a lesson. I just smirked at their foolish mob mentality. Everything was unfolding exactly as I had anticipated, but I came fully prepared. Let me show everyone what really happened to them US that day. I clapped my hands, and now watch this. The massive lobby screen instantly switched from commercials to raw surveillance footage, right before their eyes. On screen, them US and DGV were chatting casually, but the moment she looked away, DGV and Lou NHYN shared a dark, chilling glance. Suddenly, DGV shoved them US right off the balcony on floor 27. As the clip ended, the lobby and livestream went absolutely wild. Oh my goodness, she did not end her own life. She was pushed. Everyone gasped in utter disbelief, instantly turning their anger toward the real culprits. Those betrayers did not just frame an innocent man. They took her life. How inhumane. Both traitors froze, their faces turning completely pale with fear. Furious and panicked, Lou NHYN slammed her purse against the giant display and screamed at the top of her lungs, claiming it was fake. Impossible. This video must be fabricated. Floor 27 has no cameras. Realizing what she just blurted out, she quickly slapped her hand over her mouth. But it was already too late. I chuckled softly, knowing their dark conspiracy had been planned long ago, just like in my previous life. Back then, when I was framed for assault and asked for footage, officers claimed the office cameras were broken and floor 27 had none. This time, I was fully prepared and secretly mounted hidden cameras all over floor 27. Before starting anything, I stared at Lou NHYN coldly. Whether this footage is real or fake is not for you to decide. The police will verify it. She collapsed to the floor in defeat. DGV glared at me savagely, shouting that forensic medical reports do not lie. Just a moment ago, forensics confirmed your DNA was on her body. If you claim you never touched her, then why were your biological traces found inside her? Explain that, or why there is a video accusing you. How could a young woman gamble with her own honor like this? Them US's parents stepped forward, crying out in tearful agreement with DGV. Our daughter was completely pure and innocent. She would never throw away her dignity just to frame anyone. You definitely hurt my poor girl, you utter monster. DGV proved to be a sharp manipulator, swiftly spotting a flaw in my statement. Without my rebirth and prep work, I would be doomed. All the physical evidence was pinning me directly to the stake. The crowd began to waver again, whispering among themselves in confusion. If Turn Fong did not attack her, why did forensics find his biological sample inside her? They could not possibly bribe the entire medical team, right? I looked over at Lou NHYN with a calm smile and said for that answer, we can all thank my mother-in-law. I reached into my briefcase and pulled out a medical donation receipt from last week. The biggest mystery after my rebirth was finally solved. Now here comes the unbelievable part. Checking my car messages earlier, I spotted a clinic notification sent right after I made that donation. Suddenly, all the scattered clues connected perfectly. The final puzzling question was answered. I finally understood why Lou NHYN urged me to donate. She claimed it was a noble civic duty, but in reality, her own mother worked directly inside that specific medical clinic department. Taking advantage of her position, she secretly siphoned a portion of my sample and forcibly injected it into the US's body, though completely bizarre and deeply repulsive. That was the exact trick they used to frame me as a dangerous criminal back then. Seeing his flawless plan crumble as I claimed victory, DGV went completely insane, pointing at me and screaming like a madman. How could you prepare for every single detail like this? You clearly knew we were going to eliminate them US. Yet you just stood by and watched her fall. You are the truly heartless one here. The entire lobby and stream broke into pure chaotic turmoil. I stared down at both of them with ice-cold eyes and replied, "You two are nothing but merciless, wicked hypocrites, watching a tragedy unfold while holding the weapon yourselves, then daring to preach about morality to me." Seeing him stand by without helping, the audience immediately reacts with pure disgust. Even though the terrible tragedy of young Thum U.S. was not directly caused by DGV, he still carries partial blame. These despicable bosses ought to protect workers, not toss lives away. How could anyone treat human existence so carelessly? It is certainly not without good reason that people brand them as cold, heartless capitalists. Thum U.S.'s grief-stricken parents start panicking as well, weeping bitterly while demanding that I pay them heavy compensation for their loss. "You knew she was going to perish, yet still watched helplessly. You must compensate us, or we will camp in front of your company forever." I honestly admire DGV's sharp mind and fast response time. Given enough room, he definitely could have built a thriving empire on his own. But he chose the worst path imaginable. Seeing me stay silent, DGV assumes that I have run out of counter moves entirely. He laughs maniacally, with eyes blazing red, desperate to drag me down. "Fine, we ended the life of young Thum U.S., but you two clearly had deep conflict. Otherwise, why would she harm you? Why did you stand there watching her perish?" I just smile faintly, without a single trace of panic. I did not save her because she was a traitor, plain and simple. This downfall was entirely earned after everything she pulled. Hearing that, Thum U.S.'s parents charge forward, trying to strike me in fury, yelling that their daughter was the real victim. I dodge aside and text Tu Cal that the evidence is fully prepped to release. Noticing my sudden movement, DGV instantly shifts into high alert. I smile warmly at the crowd, curious why I remained so cold. Now watch this. I'm about to show everyone the real story. The massive building screen flashes, displaying all secret chat logs. The records expose every single detail. After I built up Thum U.S.'s fame, she grew wildly unhappy with her cut of company profits. She wanted to break her contract early, but doing so meant facing an enormous $3 million penalty fee immediately. Even though she was a rising internet celebrity, she was fairly new, making $3 million, way too steep for her to afford. To slip away from the contract without paying a single cent, Thum U.S. secretly teamed up with Lu Nhyn and DGV instead. Their leaked conversations prove Thum U.S. accidentally caught Lu Nhyn and DGV sneaking around together, but chose total silence anyway. Meanwhile, Lu Nhyn wanted a quick divorce without sharing any assets. So all three conspired to completely destroy my reputation forever. The actual chat files I got came directly from THO, the very person I struggled to trust after my past life ordeal. Seeing my closest associates backstab me in my previous life changed everything. Every shady move here involved THO managing company operations. The physical marks on Thum U.S. were inflicted by him. The four of them plotted together, expecting an easy payout after my arrest. With me locked up behind bars, stealing my company assets would be simple. But then I sent the incriminating video to THO, showing DGV and Lu Nhyn pushing Thum U.S. off the 27th floor, making it painfully obvious that I knew everything. As clever as THO was, he could not save them, because police were already investigating every single corner of the crime. I proved they eliminated Thum U.S. on DGV's master plan. He was exceptionally sharp, sure, but brutally cold and ruthless. A basic assault charge would only lock me away for 3 years. But with Thum U.S. gone, no key witnesses remained anywhere. They assumed nobody would ever know. And look at the crowd now, absolutely blown away by these crazy, unexpected plot twists. Nobody expected her closest allies to be her actual downfall. Onlookers quickly turn on her, stating she clearly brought this onto herself. Blinded by pure self-interest, she committed unforgivable acts. Several people even begin feeling genuine sympathy for my miserable position as her boss. What a miserable fate for a boss who built up a star, only to have her stab him right in the back. Glaring down at kneeling DGV, speak icy cold DGV, your schemes are truly sickening. Yet I always respected your talent. Had you avoided this dark path, achieving grand success was only a matter of time. You completely threw away your own bright future. Hearing my full explanation, the crowd erupts with deep pity for me. My unfaithful wife hooked up with my secretary, my child, was not mine. My associates tried seizing my firm, and the employee I groomed tried framing me. Completely, absolutely insane betrayal. With furious red eyes, DGV charges directly at me, roaring out, "Turn Fong, I will end you." But police tackle him immediately, slamming him hard against the ground. Ultimately, All 5 of us are escorted to the station while officers process all the evidence. Everything unfolded precisely as I foretold, proving the 4-way conspiracy. The heavy hammer of justice falls swiftly on every single culprit. DGV and Lu Nhyn face the absolute maximum penalty. Her greedy mother receives 7 years for power abuse, while the Mu's parents, left empty-handed and blasted by online hate, suffer total mental breakdowns and head back to their hometown to recover. Though I forgave Tho, his involvement in the Mu's case still lands him 5 years behind bars. Following this wild scandal, my public reputation reaches historic new highs. My company goes public in a quick 3 months, signing a fresh roster of prime talents. Years later, under my direction, company shares explode upward, crowning me a multi-million-dollar tycoon. I promote loyal Tiu Cao to secretary, and true to my word, I grant him way more than just a massive salary increase as we build our giant empire together. He scores a massive bonus alongside his salary. A brilliantly bright future lies ahead, and this long journey is really just getting started.